Hey, welcome back to the channel, man. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, y'all. Go ahead and comment down below. Let me know where y'all from and who you a fan of, man. Quavo Sister is going after Jay Prince after a heated exchange. They going back and forth because Quavo told his sister exactly everything that happened. Because y'all got to remember, Quavo was standing right there when everything happened. He is the state witness number one, man. The DA is basically keeping close communications with Quavo because they want to know his full side of the story. Quavo saw every single thing happen. He know the names. He could point out every single person that did wrong to Takeoff. Man, y'all got to understand and watch this whole video exactly what I'm talking about because, look, Quavo's sister, she is not playing, man. She told Jay Prince and Jay Prince Jr. and them that they better give it up. They better stop with everything because she knows because of what Quavo told her that somebody is in the wrong and it's not coming from their side, it's coming from the other side. Man, one thing y'all gotta understand is that these people are clicked up, man. They clicked up and they trying to ride or die loyal for their own people. So what y'all gotta understand is that Quavo's sister knows exactly this. She knows that they got all the people who was gonna do the dirty work for him. So she told him, step it up and bring forth the person who did it because at the end of the day, she's trying to get justice for Takeoff, man. Like she's been talking to all of their people and now that she realized it, that Quavo can't really say everything because they gonna get him down there. And so it's really a situation to where it's like he gonna have to come in anonymously and give his thing, or they're gonna have to put Quavo in witness protection of some sort. And after what his sister said to Jay Prince and them and the back and forth that they had, she really means business, man, because with all the emotions and all the, things, pent up frustration, she knew Takeoff. She knew all of them for so long. When the Migos first went out to Houston, when Offset was locked up and they was trying to get the Drake feature on Versace and everything, man, Quavo's sister was the one who paid for their gas to get out there, man, to get the gas money. She the one who sent them bread to go get barbecue food in Texas. Like, y'all got to understand, she's been there since day one. So for Quavo's sister to come out after hearing the full story of who actually was the one who did this to Takeoff and the person that tried to run up on Quavo and everything and the chain snatch and the dice game, the money's owed, the BS security charges, man, when she seen that they was trying to charge him $50,000 for the security of just driving him around and taking him to the hood, which wasn't even safe anyways, she was disappointed because they thought that they would be better businessmen than that. She thought that they would actually, cater to their needs and make sure that these celebrities, these millionaires who's bringing all this money and attention and economy to Houston, just by the Migos showing up to Houston is bringing economy there. When they do a show there, when they go and meet and greet people, when they pop up to these businesses and to these clubs, they spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. What do you think that's doing to the whole neighboring community? That's uplifting everything because what was going on is that they're going to keep it circulating around. And so now it's like, look, Quavo's sister is saying, I can't believe this is how you betray us after everything we've done for you guys. And this is the thanks we get. Man, Quavo's sister, she's more upset than Quavo himself because one thing you got to know about Quavo is that, yeah, he going to argue for, his benefit and whatnot. But after that, if he doesn't get a win right then and there that day, that instant gratification, then he's not going to speak on it too much. And that's why we seen Quavo being a lot more quiet. And we seen, people around Quavo step up more because they pressing Jay Prince Jr., they pressing Jay Prince, they pressing Mob Ties, the whole Houston. They now trying to get to the bottom of everything because she knows that it's other people that know exactly who did it, just like how Quavo was standing right there and he actually saw the dude pull it. He saw the dude squeeze and seen it in 4K. He saw the flash and the sounds and Takeoff hit the ground and everything like that. And nobody's doing anything to help or to get justice. And that's why Quavo's sister is coming out and saying it's 3 other people who was literally looking in the same direction, standing right next to Quavo. How come they haven't came up and said nothing? Like, for example, she was even talking about how Big Mike was right there. And they went on Gilly the Kid and everything and gave only partial story, man. What you guys got to understand is you only hearing the partial. You only hearing not even the half of it. The real things that happened people know, but they just too afraid to speak on it because of the repercussions that could happen. They still in Houston. They still in fear of Jay Prince Jr. and his crew rolling up and knocking on their door and whatnot, and you know, making it so that they don't speak up or talk about it. Because if what really happened to Takeoff, if that story really gets out and they figure out who did it, they already know who did it. But if word gets out on exactly who did it, then you will quickly see the entire Rico coming through Houston. Like, it's already there. Feds is already waiting and standby in Houston until they find out exactly what's going on. And just like Charleston White said, how did they get the paperwork early to this to figure out exactly who's in it? Now they know who's in the case, who's not out the case. They even know the assistant to Quavo, the assistant witness who's going to back Quavo's story and give a similar story to make his word be solidified. They might, who knows, that person might end up being missing, snatched up. Next thing you know, it's going to be a whole lot of important people who can't make it randomly. They can't make it to the trial. They can't give their testimony anymore. They forgot things. They got memory loss and all these things. This is the type of stuff that happens when you already got a group of people in power who's getting already looked at, and they get early access to the information of what is being brought up against them, because you already know that they got everybody. They got people on payroll in Houston. Jay Prince Jr. and his dad and them, they know everybody. They even know the people who's the boys. They even know the people who's, you know, got the lights and flashing and everything like that. So who's to say that they can't get the early information from anybody like that? And that's why a lot of people who's talking about all of these alleged things that everybody's speaking on, and it's basically like it's got to be one of those things is going to end up lining up to the fact where, okay, they either got to know who the secret witness is who's going to back Quavo's story. So, you know, if that person can't back his story or can't make it to give their thing, then it's like, oh, okay, then somebody might get away with it. You feel me? But then if Quavo and his assistant go and they say both things and they stamp it as true and evidence it and log it into the files and everything, then when they get the whole big jury, the lawyers, the DAs, they're going to be going back and forth arguing. It's going to be a big, huge trial for the justice to take off. Like, a lot of people still want to make sure that it's justice done, but you know, 50%, they want to see justice. They want to make sure that, you know, they get the right person and everything. And the other 50%, they want to keep it in the streets. They don't want nobody to snitch. They want to just make it to more of the animosity, to keeping it in the hood and how it's all played out for the last years and years and decades. Y'all know how it goes. Everybody, we all seen it. We all seen how it goes with street beef and keeping everything in the streets. When it comes down to, you know, two groups of people or two people, two individuals or whatever it is, right? And so we know how it ends and everything like that. But for this, it's like, man, a lot of people are also saying, since Quavo knows the full story, since Quavo Sister's getting on their case now, and Jay Prince Jr. and them, they back against the wall and everything, are they going to tell on each other? Because it's going to come down to it to where if they really try to get the justice for Takeoff, they just gonna pick up one of the dudes from Mob Ties who was standing right next to the guy who squeezed and did it to Takeoff, and they gonna ask him, is this dude in Mob Ties? Does Jay Prince Jr. pay him? Does the dad do this and that? And they gonna basically connect the dots anyways, because everything is right there. It's plain to see. So if they don't figure it out from all the evidence and the reviewing everything and doing it the old-fashioned way, then they're going to get it through somebody telling. And when they pin them all against each other, they definitely not going to stay loyal then. That's when you really get the true test of, is this street loyalty to these street groups really worth it? To be doing all this and the benefit of somebody else's negativity, you feel me? And so after all that, all of this stuff is going to get you is to where it's going to land you in a situation where somebody gets sent up, and just because you hanging around the crew that sent him up, now you getting looked at as the troublemaker, and you going to get years put on you just because you decided to pop out with these dudes. When something happens like that and you're with the people, that's guilty of association. Y'all got to realize that any other dude out here, if these was just some average like 20-year-olds or whatever in some random hood, they would have got every single person who was with the dudes that hit him up. But because these are millionaires and they got connections in Houston like this, is a lot slower moving towards that because they don't want to have to do it to them like that. That's their homies. They done took so much bread from mob ties that they don't want to have to come back and boom, serve them the papers and RICO it and sweep the whole Fifth Ward up. They don't want to have to do that. So they had to play this game of long drawing it out. And eventually, when Quavo sits on that stand and he says exactly what happened that day and that night, everybody's going to know that this whole thing was just no big coincidence, man. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment down below. Let me know where y'all from and who you a fan of. Stay tuned for the next video. I'm going to catch you there.